I go straight from the bank, gassing up the tank, cranking up the radio, playing old Hank. It ain't that long.
Hey, welcome everyone. Gold Fever Radio. Once again, it is Wednesday. It is December the 6th. If you can believe that already. December, we made it to December. All you lucky critters that made it to December, congratulations. For the rest of you, well, I guess we're sorry. Let's see what's happening today. What did I write it at? Oh man, I had it someplace. I guess I forgot to write it down. I think there's only 25 days left in the year. It is National Microwave Day. It is National St. Nicholas Day. Now that's so stupid because that shouldn't be now. But the real cool thing is National Miners Day. Now you can't beat that for a good day like today. Let's see, on this day in history, in 1865, Georgia became the 27th state to ratify the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. And, of course, the shithead Andrew Cuomo. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. He's 66, 1957. He's a Democrat. He was the governor of New York. Let's see. You know what I think it should be? I think it should be National Beer Drinkers Day. And I think it should be National Chocolate Day. I think those should just be everyday thing. National Beer Drinker Day, National Chocolate Day, and National Get Some Gold Day. Okay, so what else is going on here? Got our metal detecting hunt. That was last Saturday. That was pretty good. We got our New Year's event coming up at the end of the year, 12/8 to 1/1. And, and I think I'm going to become, somebody asked a while back, I think I'm going to become a new dealer for the Falcon metal detectors. I know everybody wants a Falcon metal detector. So that's all I got on that there. Somebody said something about selling pay dirt. You know, years ago, you could sell a gigantic bag of pay dirt for $100 and put it in one of the boxes, and it cost you $9 to ship it out. Well, then it got more pricier. So then you went to a little bag like this here, and it still cost you about $10, $12 to ship it out, $100. Then you had to go to a bag like this here, $100, and then it still cost you about $9 to ship it out. And then, of course, you went to a bag like this here for $100. And then it only cost you about $10 to ship it out. And now what we've gone to is little bottles like these here. It's all you can afford nowadays, you know, because shipping. Have you seen the price of shipping? My gee, many crickets. Price of shipping is outrageous. I mailed out a package, and I almost had to take out a second mortgage just to mail it out. Let's see who's in the chat room. Minuteman. Mountain Man Adventures. And Birdman, Jedi Birdman, Guy Carl, Patty's Adventures, welcome. Richard Duke, Josh Cooper, Stephen Peasley, hello. Daryl Lane, or let's see, Ogden, MG Toe, Herb Cato, Gary Jocham. Received my prizes from, all right, I'm glad you got them. Tim Brockett, hello, Mike Bush, Janon. Anyways, welcome, guys. I got sand here. Just mail the gold. All right, cool. Just mail the gold. Anyway, we got a lovely guest tonight. Can you believe it? All the way from back east. It's got to be like midnight back east over there already, you know. I mean, he had to stay up late. So let's bring him in. Let me figure out how we got to bring him in. And here we go, the one, the only. It's Tim.
What's up?
What's happening?
What's up, man?
A long time no talk, bud.
Staying busy, man. Staying busy every day, digging in the dirt every day.
The last I saw, you were digging up a ship. Well, tell us what you've been going. Introduce yourself for all those that don't know who you are.
Yeah, my name's Tim Fisher with Eastern Outdoor Expeditions. I don't know if you can see my shirt. I can't. Anyway, right over there, Eastern Outdoor Expeditions. We for years and years we filmed just a small show, 30-minute show, doing all types of gold prospecting adventures and artifact hunts. So we did quite a bit of that. Put it on YouTube. We also had it on Gen 7 Outdoors. It was on TV. And then about 2 years ago, the History Channel decided to do, we did 2 episodes on their show. It aired, I won't say that I know they filmed around July, and it aired, I think, in October is when it aired last year, not this year, last year. So we've, had that going on. We've got a much bigger fish to fry this year, a big something coming up. So I hope to be able to share that with you at a later date. We're in the middle of all these contracts, but all to do with prospecting and digging this big ship up. It's just crazy, man. It's dredge, just in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we bought a gold mine, and it's crazy, man. For 2 years we didn't know the ship was there, neither did anybody else. It was a big bucket line dredge, and didn't know it was there. And so my son was sort of after me about the curiosity of seeing a couple of steel rods sticking up in the edge of this little branch of water that ran through the property, and it carries a good little bit of gold in it. That was one of the reasons I bought the land, and it was a big producer gold mine. So we decided to investigate, and see what was going on with these steel rods sticking up. And it didn't take us but a couple of days to figure out that it was a big bucket line dredge. And so after that, did quite a bit of research, found out, through the internet and Googling and all that good stuff that it was built in 1906, the Robinson Gold Dredge. And so, we just started digging into the history and found out, the size of it. It's huge, man. The interior of it, the hull is right at 7.5 feet deep, not quite 8 feet. So, I mean, you could walk around it just like walk around in a house in the lower section. But now you got to understand, all this was buried underground. We took 38 trees off the top of this dredge. So it was a major undertaking. And it took 2 years of going through the state and, getting things lined up so that, we had the rights to do it, permits to do it, and it took a little while, for quite a while actually, but patience, paid off. So, that's kind of how we got going with this. And then it's just, it's been a runaway train ever since, because what we're actually doing is rebuilding this ship back the way it was originally. So, it is a major undertaking. But, we find gold. I'll show you this. You've probably seen it posted. I don't know. You can see how big see that gold. I mean, that's an ounce, better than an ounce of gold in this rock. You can see on both sides. Let me get it right. There.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Right there. This is a smaller piece, but we find a lot of that as well.
Wow.
But anyway, there's a lot of gold to be had there. They lost a lot of gold. So just, we recently purchased 2 new excavators, and we've got backhoes. So, it takes a lot of equipment to do all that stuff, and, a piece at a time.
How, well, I got 2 questions. One, have you reached the bottom of the ship yet?
Yes, we've dug down in the very front of the dredge. We started there, and beautiful timber. It's in, excellent shape. So we keep it flooded when, so basically this is like a flooded ship. So you'll be able to board the ship. We're putting everything back brand new that's rotten and, deteriorated. And so when you board the dredge, we're going to keep it sunk. We're not going to move it. It's got to stay right there. But by it staying flooded, it protects the old timber that's there. So what we've done is we started at the very front, started working our way back And there's, as you know, on a dredge, you've got, it's shaped sort of like a U, a square backed U. And so, you've got that 5 foot wide opening or split in the middle where your bucket line went. So right now we're working on the side where the pilot house is. So we've dug out probably about 40, 45 feet of it, on one side. And it's just really weird. We found a lot of crazy things. Like we know there's been on fire. We know that it's been filled with a lot of big rocks, like they were trying to get rid of it. There's just a lot of mystery behind the whole thing that we're trying to figure out why. But we found stuff like electrical insulators and wire, and I did find quite a bit of information that gives a description about, intricate description about it had steam engines on it. There was just a lot of things, details in this information about this particular dredge, pictures. And so we know it had electricity on it. It had lights on it. We found insulators and wire. Just all kinds of odd stuff. Most of the ironworks was taken off of it. We don't know if they used it on another dredge somewhere else, or during the Depression they stripped it down for the most part to sell, like the buckets and stuff. So don't know. We're still trying to search. There's a lot of loose parts that we're finding out, in the ground. So I'm not sure what the whole story is behind it, but we're trying to find out. And we get gold out of that dredge because the little branch of river of water that used to go through there came from a major gold mine. So what's crazy is that dredge was actually, it ended up being like a big sluice box, and you're talking over 7 feet deep, 94 feet long, 32 feet wide, of nothing but sluice box. So it's a lot of material. So we get quite a bit of gold out of the hull of that dredge. And then we sell a lot. I heard you talking earlier about, selling pay dirt. That's something else that we do. My son sells it online. If you were to go to NC Treasure Hunters Campground, that's his site on Facebook, and you can buy the actual dirt right off the dredge. What we do, because there's so much material there, we bag it up in it's probably 2 gallon or 3 gallon bags. They're pretty good sized bags. So all we do is take the material out of the ship, put it in the bags, and a lot of times there's dredge spikes in there. There's been glass out of the windows. People have found pieces of bottles in there. We just scoop it out, put it in the bag, and because we just don't have time to mess with going through all of that stuff. So we bag it, and we have people all the time saying, "Hey, well, I found this in the bag, or found that," and just always gold in the bag. And so we do sell pay dirt. That's kind of what keeps our fuel and stuff like that going at the gold mine.
So what year, somebody had a question, what year was this dated from?
1906. It was a Robinson gold dredge, 1906.
Wow.
It was built in New York. And disassembled and put on train cars and brought to North Carolina, eastern North Carolina, and then it was reassembled in the creek. And then it started its digging. It dug a lot off the edge of the creek. And the crazy thing is, this dredge went up this creek, which we bought it's like placer gold, or placer gold, whichever you want to say it. But we bought this valley, and so at the bottom of the valley there's a creek, and so it was put in there, and it dug probably 500 to 800 acres that we definitely know about, and then went right on up and dug right on up the creek, but what it did, or up the little valley that we had, because there's a ribbon of water that was in there. And what would happen is that water would make a pond for it to float in. So it made like dikes as it was digging its own way up. The tailing piles would make a dam. And so it walked its way up over half a mile up a valley, and over 100 feet in elevation from where it started. So it's just crazy how it got where it was at.
So do you know how many buckets it had on it?
No, I do know that the depth on it, least the article's not telling me the exact amount, but it didn't give me an exact number on the buckets. I do know that they were 3 feet wide and almost 3 feet deep. Almost 3 feet both ways. And I know that the digging depth was 30 feet, so it would dig,
Wow.
30 feet. They're bigger ones. This is not to me, it's a huge dredge, but like if you go to North Alaska, I think you've been there too, and you've seen, like what the number 7 or number 8 dredge that's out there. It's massive. So this one does not, compare to that one. But when you talk about a wooden hull vessel, it's big. And you're talking nearly 8 feet deep. The hull is 8 feet deep, so there were a lot of storage in the bottom of it. So it's big.
Are you going to put buckets back on it and the arm and all that type of stuff?
We're trying to find the right materials to be able to do that. We'll have to refabricate a lot of stuff. We won't, of course, it'll just sit. My plans are, if we can get some we'll probably go to electric, but if we can do some electric motors to run the buckets to give you an idea of how it ran, as well as lifting it up with the gantry, we're going to try to do that as well. That's it's going to be a several year project. It's going to take a long time to get it right. But as we're going, so far we've got the deck on the first about 45 feet. We've got the pilot house built, so you're looking at almost 4 stories high. So we've already got that section built. So we're doing like 10-foot increments. 10-foot increments is how we're doing.
So all that gold you just showed, that came from that ship or just
Yes.
on the property?
Tailing piles come from the dredge piles. That's what they lost.
Well, so can you share those GPS coordinates with me?
Well, we always, our place is open every Saturday, because like I say, there's been a lot of filming going on with my major companies. So they've cut us back to where we can't do as much, have it open like we used to. We were open about every day to the week. And so now it's basically just on Saturdays. My son and myself, we bought this gold mine. We split the land up. He has a campground on his. So if you come out, you can, you can boondock. Basically he's got you can bring a camper in there. There's no electricity. It's just, like I say, pretty primitive camping. But, we've got, porta potty there. And but you can pan for gold there in the creek, and there is gold in the creek, so you can do that. I think he allows a little bit of dredging in there if you had a small dredge. Pay dirt. He also has a fossil pile there. That's another thing that we're big in, is the big megalodon shark teeth. We pull a lot of those out of the creeks and rivers, so he has a lot of material piles there that we bring in. And a lot of people want to spend a day looking shark teeth, and they can just come out on the property and do that as well. So he, that's part of what he does. And like I say, you can check all that out in pricing and all of that through NC Treasure Hunters Campground on Facebook. That's my son's thing. I'm too busy building a ship. I don't have time to do that other stuff. But come out, we can show you. We can show you the dredge, and kind of show you around a little bit. It's a cool place. It goes back the Purest gold mine. This is actually part of the Purest gold mine. It goes back mid 1800s, early to mid 1800s. So it's one of the earlier gold mines in the United States when it started. The Reed gold mine was kind of where it all started at in the United States, and then they popped up here and there. This was one of the early ones too. It was a big gold mine. It yielded millions of dollars worth of gold. The last person to run the Purest gold mine on a industrial scale was Mr. Olds, the Oldsmobile man, 1935 to 36. He spent roughly $250,000. He spent a lot of money back in the day building a big stamp mill. It was the best of the best back in the day. Of course, they used mercury back then, and they were still getting gold that way off the copper plates. So it just didn't work out for him. And I don't know if he had trouble with his mercury getting out of, off the plates, but in the year and a half, he ended up shutting down. But like I say, he's the one that built the Rio truck, the Oldsmobile vehicles, cars, trucks, and he had that gold mine there for a while, and he ended up abandoning it, letting it go. And I think most of the equipment went out west in North Carolina, out west to another mine. That's where most of the stamp mill equipment ended up at.
I
But
gotta come and visit you.
cool.
I gotta come and see you.
Yeah, come on out. We like I said, check it out. We show people all the time. Like I say, right now, on a public scale, we're open on Saturdays. I think he's open from 10 to 5. He also, like I say, ships a lot of pay dirt. Like I say, that it's expensive now to ship it, but especially when you're talking, what is a 25-pound bag or something like that of dirt? Because when we ship it all over the place, because a lot of people don't want a sandwich bag. They want to be able to run equipment, run that stuff through some type of equipment, and spend a little time. So we ship a lot to a lot of the same people in different places, and they stockpile it. And in the wintertime, they'll start, just running it while it's cold outside. They'll just run it through their, sluice boxes or gold cubes or whatever they got. And, there's a lot of fine gold. There's a lot of clay in it. And that's the big thing about where we're at is the clay. It's like Martian dirt, man. It's red, and the clay, it'll steal your gold. So you have to take your time, and to get the gold out of it. So
Good old Georgia clay.
yeah, it's tough stuff, man. I mean, and that's why when the gold rush, I think, started in California, people got the crap out of here and went there because it was a lot less messy.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Reed's Farm was the first. I think what was that 1799 or 1899?
Yeah, it was late 1700s, I believe.
1799 at Reed's Farm.
Somewhere in the very first, that's where it all kind of started at,
And that was the nugget that was it for a doorstop.
Yeah, doorstop. That's what the story is. I've heard it so many times, man. And then they went out there, and I think they found even a bigger one. As once they found out what they had, they went and started finding a lot of nuggets. The place is really cool. It's open, where you can go. The Reed Gold Mine is, and I've been there a few times. It's really a neat place because you can still go in the mines. They've got it opened up where they've got wire all inside of it, and it's pretty safe. They got lights in it. It's really nice. Big museum. And the old stamp mill and all is still there, and it's in the building. I mean, just like it would have been. And they'll crank it up. Now they did change it over to an electric motor. I think it might have been steam at one time, but I know now they've got an electric motor that runs it, and so they can crank it up. You can see it work, and then they've got this huge shaker table, and it's all wood. Everything on it pretty much it's all wood, but it is. I think that shaker table must be 12 or 14 feet long. It is a huge shaker table. So it's just a lot of cool stuff to see there as well.
So on where you're at, the gold, was that part of the glacial drift, or is that actual like the lode or placer deposits like out west?
Yeah, volcanic. My understanding is it's volcanic. That's how it ended up here. It was all volcanic activity. North of where we're at, there's a place called Medoc Mountain, and I understand the state owns that now. So you really can't do anything on it, but it's a park. But you can't, it's one of them places you can't mess with gold there. But I understand there was quite a bit of gold there. It, probably still is. But I think that was where the volcanic activity started at, and that's how it ended up. It just flowed. The way that where we bought the land at, it flowed that way. Cool. But that's what I'm understanding. I know it's in the rock. We find a lot in the, in the quartz rocks. And then the Portus, there are some big veins running through there, and the gold is leaching out of those veins because they're exposed. I used to be able to go on there. It's owned by that. Most of that land is owned now by a tree company, and it's changed hands a few times. So earlier years, I was able to get on there and do some prospecting. And when there was another tree company on it, they were real nice about letting me get on there and just prospect. And I'd make charts of what I was seeing, and they pretty much let me kind of keep what I found. But there were so many veins out there, quartz veins, different widths, and they had been exposed from, 100 years of just weathering, and all these gullies and valleys and ditches. The gold would just break down out of the quartz and get in those veins, or not veins, but get in those ditches, and we call them gullies back. That's what we call them here, but or y'all may call them washes, but they get in there and have a heavy rain, and then it goes right on into this branch of water. Well, the branch of water is the same branch of water that goes through my property. So, I can get gold out of it anytime I want to. So, it's flowing through there.
Do you get it out, like you say, out of the creek, or can you metal detect the shores and high grounds and that and get it also?
I'm not having any luck much as far as metal detecting, finding gold. Now, where I'm like some of the gold that we're finding using metal detectors. I mean, we like Mine Lab. I mean, that's just my personal, preference. I mean, it's a good tool for us. And all of their detectors are great from what we use. Now, the tailing piles or dredge piles are where we can find a lot of gold. That's where we, are using our metal detectors to find them. Find the gold at. As far as finding stuff on our property, most of my land is like a valley, and it was basically the dredge worked that valley, and so over 118 years of all this activity is filled back in, because we took 38 trees off the top of that dredge. I mean, it was covered up, 38 trees. So this valley had filled back in a long time ago, and topsoil just happened to erode into this valley, cover up the clay, and then you've got all these massive trees. We've got some big oaks and a lot of hardwoods, and so what's under the soil in the valley, is just dredged material. So there's really not much to find so far as metal detecting, like the nuggets on the property that we have. Now, you can get in the creek and you can use a Monster 1000, and you'll find some little pickers every now and then, because they're washing down from, just upstream is how they're getting in there.
So, who's Casey Smith?
Casey Smith is that's my son's wife.
Oh, okay. I was going to say because, okay. So saying that they allow metal detecting in the creek and your campground. Okay, so
that's them. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Casey and Ross. Yeah, Ross is my son, and Casey's my daughter.
Okay. Because they're popping. So they're there. I was just seeing who else is popped in here. Peace Dub, Terry Curry, Flash in your pan, Ed. Hello. So I know back there you guys got, like, Arizona, we've got a lot of gold out here, and same with like California, Nevada, but back east you guys got some of the purest gold.
Yeah, it's the I want to say, what is it, 90, was it like 94 to 98 purity? I mean, it's really pure. And the funny thing is, a lot of times the gold that we find up there has got a reddish tint, and I don't know if that's coming a lot from the fact that it's just blood red clay. We joke all the time about being on Mars, because it's just the most red clay, and I don't know if that has kind of stained that gold a little bit, but it'll have a reddish tint to it, but
it could be so you're in North Carolina then?
Yeah, Eastern North Carolina. Yep. About 2 hours from the coast.
So I'm trying to figure where that's at. So how far away are you, like, from Nebo?
From where?
I think it's Nebo, ain't it?
I don't
You
know.
know,
Like Raleigh now, Raleigh is about middle. Raleigh is the state where the capital is, and that's just about middle way the state. And we're an hour east. We're an hour east of Raleigh. So if you keep going east, um, so we're probably about as far east as you go to find a gold mine, probably in North Carolina at least, maybe on the East Coast. I mean, we're way out there, and there's 8 gold mines on the road that this is a long straight road. This road is called Taylor's Store Road. It's just called that, and it is like, I don't know, 18 miles long, fairly straight. And there that I know of 8 gold mines that just kind of pepper this area, and it goes into 4 different counties. We're in Nash County, and there's like Franklin, Halifax, Warren, and where our place is real close to the other counties. They all kind of hub, where all the counties kind of go together, like all 4 corners kind of go close together, and that's where our mine is at.
no, I was thinking that the Vein Mountain, the LDMA
Yeah,
camp,
Vein
they
Mountain.
got that.
Yeah, Lucky Strike Gold Mine and Thermal City. That's quite a bit west. That's probably I don't know, 4 hours,
Okay,
something like
okay.
that. 4 hours west.
I think that Vein Mountain is near the camp or near that town of Nebo. That's why I was asking about
Okay, yeah,
how
yeah,
how,
yeah.
how kind of how close you were to them without giving them any plugs or anything.
Oh no, look, like I say, I've been to really nice folks, at Lucky Strike Gold Mine, um, Doug and Liz. I've known them for years and years, and super nice people. I'm one of these kind of people say, hey, you'll check them out. And Thermal City, all those places, they've got gold on them. So yeah, but we're way east, and I know when the archaeology people come out. We had quite a bit of that going on to try to know as much as we could, and just to learn as much as we could from the experts. That's the most. It's the last known wooden hull bucket line dredge known to exist in the eastern United States. That's what I've been told. I mean, that's I'm getting this from somebody else, but that's what the archaeology people were telling me. It was the last known wooden hull bucket line dredge, New Zealand style, in eastern United States, and we're trying to put her back together again.
And that's awesome. What about? Do you find any like Civil War artifacts and any of that up in that area?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, uh, there's bullets been found in that area. All kinds of oddities. I had a friend of mine. I didn't find it, but a friend of mine found a cannonball. I've got. It's like a 5-pounder or 6-pounder. It's a small cannonball. Found, uh, you know, and I actually didn't even find it metal detecting, and it was sticking right on top of the ground, and it was near the creek. And he kind of kicked it with his shoe, thinking it was probably some farming implement, and it was a cannonball.
Wow.
But he didn't want it. He ended up saying, "You take it." And so I said, "Sure thing." And I made sure it didn't have a hole in it. It didn't have in other words, it was a solid cannonball.
Yeah, yeah. We're something ready to be. So
Yeah,
Casey says, show some of your megalodon shark's teeth.
yeah. I can. Let's see here. I can show you one.
I got one here. I'll show you one.
That's
I
a
got.
little one right there. That is not
Oh
that
my
big.
God!
It
That's
really
bigger.
isn't.
That's bigger than mine.
Yeah, that one was about. I don't know. Let me step it back a little bit.
That's nice.
Yeah, there's one. Let's see here. This one's kind of a ragged one here. That's a smaller one right there.
A smaller one.
Let's see here. There's another one that's kind of ragged. And it's been stained by the creek. You can tell it's not a very pretty tooth. But yeah, we've got some big ones. I mean, big as your hand. Well, I've got some 6-inch teeth, really big stuff. Those are a little smaller. But yeah, we've got that. Like I say, I was showing you the gold a while ago. You know, we've got all kinds of stuff.
Well, I think we should put together a big outing and come back there. We could have some fun at the campground.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, like I say, it's you know, shark tooth hunting is our other goal. We like to joke about. You know, it's you know, a lot of times when the water gets real low, we'll hit the creeks, and we've got tools made to special pitchfork made, or we call them rakes, and we can go in the water and just take that one tool, man, and we can really find the teeth, you know, and it's a fun outing. I know when Debbie comes down, she'll visit quite a bit. You know, Debbie from Mine Lab, she'll come visit, and we'll put her in the creek and finding teeth. You know, like I say, you know, if you're into all kinds of hunting or looking for this, or whether it's treasure or fossils or gold or diamonds or pearls or whatever, you know, it's the thrill of the chase, man. That's what it's all about.
What's I know you can't go back there certain times out of the year because the mosquitoes are bigger than airplanes back there. What
You're right.
And the ticks. What's the best time of the year to be out there?
This time of year, usually the best time of year is January. My favorite time of the year would be more like January into April, mainly because hunting is over with. Deer hunters are out right now. They'll hunt, and nothing against them. They got their fun, and I totally respect it. But you know, you have to be careful, and so you know, deer hunting runs from October to August to the last of December. So like January the 2nd, you're clear and good. And fall of the year is good around here. Once we have one frost, you know, usually around October, you know, the mosquitoes get going. The other big thing that's to me is more of a nuisance than mosquitoes are the cottonmouth snakes. They're highly venomous and they are very aggressive. Ooh. And they do not mind going after you. I mean, a lot of people kind of act like that's not so, but I can tell you, I do know that. I mean, we see them all the time. We have to deal with them, and they're highly venomous. If they bite you, you're going to be down for a while. I mean, it's not just, I'll, you know, put a Band-Aid on it and be good. It doesn't work that way. So you have to be very careful with that. I would say that's my biggest predator out there is, would be the cottonmouth snake. They stay in most time in still water, like water that's not moving much, and in grassy areas, and they can hide good. And you know, it's you know, it's just something you got to look out for. I would say another thing is, I guess you've heard the term chiggers or red bugs. They've been really bad this year as well, and they will wrap you up. They got us good a couple times this past year. I mean, you know, and they're a nuisance, man. Ticks weren't so bad, but the chiggers or the red bugs were just terrible. But you know, it's just
So if you came out like now, or no, like January, February, there is none of that stuff, right? The snake should even be dormant.
Yeah, nothing. You don't. Yeah, now everything is good right now. You could come on the property and not have any problem at all. And they have a nice cabin. It's a small, like a little mini log cabin, a couple of cots in it, so you can stay in the cabin. And it's you know, got a nice deck that you can, you know, hang out on, and a fire pit, and firewood there, and picnic table, and you know, all that stuff. So you know, that's one of the things that they have is a nice cabin. And it's got the log facade look, so it looks just like an old miner's log cabin. They're working on a bigger cabin that hopefully will be there before long. They'll have that put up, and then there's several tent sites, and it has the same thing: picnic tables, fire pit. It has the wooden deck area where if you want to put your tent on that, or just use that for just hanging out and, you know, panning for gold on or whatever you wanted to do. And then he's got a couple of places that's real close to the creek. If you wanted to camp right there by the creek and you wanted to pan in the creek, you could do that. So, like I say, if you check out, NC Treasure Hunter Campground, that's on Facebook. He's got all of that stuff so that you can see all, you can get more of an idea of what I'm talking about.
Well, maybe we need to put together a group and get a group rate or something and come out there and hang out for a week or something,
Yeah, it sounds cool. Yeah. And you can check out people who are looking, and most people probably already seen it. My site is Eastern Outdoor Expeditions. If you look back, you'll see some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Like I've posted lots of pictures of the dredge and the work that's been going on. So if you go back and see any of that stuff that I've got on my site, you can see the work that's been done. It's kind of funny. We just recently bought a 1929 Ford Model A truck, and that's been a lot of fun just beating around on that truck, because that's all we're going to use it for, is just an old gold mine beater. But it runs good, and it's getting to be a lot of fun just beating around the place on the old Model A.
That's cool. Hey, Tim, let me play a commercial to pay some bills. Can you hang with us a moment?
You got it, brother.
Take a minute. We'll be right back. Thanks.
ICMJ, the International California Mining Journal, was first published in 1931, 93 years old this year. Since our first issue, our goal has remained the same, and that is to provide miners with a voice, a marketplace for their goods and services, and to offer expert advice and tips from our knowledgeable writers, miners, geologists, all in the field. We still offer our 12 and 24-month print subscriptions, but keeping up with the times and with our reader requests, the digital online subscription option allows for a simple and gorgeous reading experience using your preferred technology, your phone, your tablet, or computer. Sign up for our print, online, or both print and online at www.icmj.com or call us at 831-479-1500. For our advertising services, both display advertising and classifieds, select the Miners Market section or call us. Happy prospecting.
Happy prospecting. Oh, dang. Oh, crap. Oh. I didn't make it back in time. Oh, dang. I knocked over. Oh, that hurt. Oh.
Darn, bro. Drink another beer.
Well, they changed it. They changed it on me. The other one used to be like almost 2 minutes long. That's only. I don't have enough time to take care of business, man. Let's see what I've been missing here. Casey says that we do group rates. We'll have to maybe talk about. I remember a while back, a few years ago, we had, we did the group thing where we went up there to AKAU.
Yeah.
And did that. We put together, they give you X amount, group rate thing. And so we put together a thing and went up there. So
that's an exciting place, man. They got some cool dredges up there too now.
Yeah, no, that was fun. I mean, I've been up to Nome twice, once on the GPAA side and once on the AKAU side. And I found a lot more gold on the AKAU side than I did on the GPA side. But and then we did a group thing where we went to the Cottonwood Trails Gold Camp there too. We went out there, dredged and stuff. So
right.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about some of this stuff and see maybe what we can't put together. Be fun. I love to
come to the East Coast.
In the ship. Well, I used to go out there a lot when we used to go out there to hang out there in Georgia and North Carolina and did that whole swing there all the time. South Carolina. I got friends that live in West Virginia.
Okay.
That come out. So we can metal detect, look for artifacts, dredge, pan. Yeah, man, look for shark's teeth. God, you got it all right there.
Oh yeah. And he's got a just an old building, like a gift shop, or we call it like a trading post. And any old mining artifacts, we try to find here and there, because there was a lot of mining in the area. So been very, very blessed to be able to get a lot of people to, like, you could take this or take that. So anything that we get, we try to be able to show it to other people, and get kids involved, and just to kind of educate people on what we know about, and just how things used to be, and because I tell you what, if you don't save it, it's going away, man. I mean, every year it's just more rust and more deterioration. So it's just trying to salvage this stuff,
Oh, well, our history is going away every year.
Yeah. It just seems like our government kind of wants that to be erased, and I'm trying my best not to erase it.
Yeah, there was we went out today. We went inside old mine, went some exploring. But I was looking for a book earlier. Now I wanted to check people's knowledge, see how smart people were, see who who this. I'm going to show you some pictures here, and let's see in the chat room who's the smart people. Who's this?
Trying to see. Let me get my glasses. I can't see where for who.
Let's see who's the first one to know who that is.
Oh man,
see, that's the history that's being forgotten, that people don't know about. Mark Marabella. No, it's not Mark. Richard Duke says you have an interesting YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's small. We're trying to get it built, because we were on Gen 7 Outdoors for years. So that's kind of a way to see a lot of our shows, but it was GEN, the number 7 Outdoors. If it live streams all the time, but if you were to look that up, it's GEN, the number 7 Outdoors, and then you would look up TV shows, and ours was Eastern Outdoor Expeditions, and we did really well. We had 800, 900,000 viewers. We did good.
No, Herb, it's not Tom Massey. This is Tom Massey.
Yeah.
This is his brother, Perry Massey. That's the history that's being forgotten.
Yep.
And this was.
Yeah, there you go.
Tom and Perry, and there's Wilma. That was the mother.
Right.
And anyway, I was just going through some old pictures,
photographs.
Some old photographs. Let me put my thumb right there. That picture looks like a dork, me. And
how about Buzzard? Have you got old Buzzard?
Yeah, Buzzard died in '93. The only thing I got of the Buzzard, is his book.
Yeah, there you go.
And back on the East Coast, you should know him then. He was the one that did all the events for the GPAA. Gary Faust. Anyways, but yeah, that's all. There's Wilma. But that was out of Stanton.
Right.
So, no, I was just.
I've been to Arizona a few times and done some prospecting out there. Bumblebee and.
Yeah. That's north of Phoenix.
Yeah. I was trying to think of some other places. There's one place, it was called the Yacht Club, and it's in the middle of.
That's in Quartzsite. That's over in Quartzsite.
Where the Yacht Club border is.
Yeah, that's not a yacht club. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know. It's a bar there.
Yeah. Well, you put a boat out there, and then you can call it a yacht club.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it's a cool place now. Look, I enjoyed hanging out there.
Yeah, they had trailers for you to stay in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool place, man. The bar was really cool.
Yeah, I'm only about 20 minutes from that place.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because, to get there, you had to get off the road a ways and go down, this place I'm talking about, it's like down a good, gravel or dirt road to get to it.
No, now it's right there. Casey says, tell the story of the pig. Willy Shiny Gold. Hell, Brad, I've been talking about you, buddy, about how you went and took a bunch of gold off of Gold Mountain up there. We've been talking all the buckets of gold that you got. Anyway, so tell the story about the pig.
Oh yeah, we were at this, like I say, same place you're talking about, and it was we would actually with Mike Slater. I don't know if you know Mike. You know Mike.
Yeah, we know Mike. Yeah.
We were up there with him, and we were, doing a little panning. There's I guess a river or creek that runs through there, and we've been looking around. Well, my son Ross, he wanted to kind of keep exploring, and so he found this opening on this, I guess, a mountain across from the where the water was flowing. This water went around this mountain, and anyway, he wandered up there and found this opening, and he came back and said, "Look, guys, we need to go check this out." So somebody there had a 4-seater quad, and we jumped in that and side by side and took off and went up there. I mean, I've never seen so many cactus in all my life. That was the toughest machine I think I've ever ridden in. But we were running over cactus and all kinds of thorny stuff out there. We got up there to where the opening was, and so I know you probably know Brian Wilder.
Yeah, French guy. Yeah.
So Brian was with us, and so Brian decided he would go in, and Ross would go. They both decided they'd go into this opening. It was just opening to a adit, I guess, and so they were going to go check it out. And the opening was probably 3 feet around, it was filled in a little bit, but you could easily slip in there, no big deal. And then it opened on up when you got inside. So Brian and Ross decided to go on in. Well, Brian had old 357 Magnum, and he had and they had a big old bright flashlight. And so they went on in, and they hadn't been in there very long. And the one time I didn't have my camera filming with me. It's just, that's how things work. But we heard this like boom. It was just this weird noise, and it sounded like a cave-in. It was more of a thumpy, dull sound. And all of a sudden I heard Ross hollering and yelling, and he was saying, help, 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 help. And I was like, man, there must have been a cave-in. So just a few seconds after that, boom, I heard that sound again. And all of a sudden, here comes Ross running, just bailing out of this hole as hard as he can go. And right behind Ross comes this, it's like a wild boar. Javelina, there you go. And he come bailing out right behind Ross, and he went straight for me. I jumped up on a rock, and he went right around me, and then he went for the guy that was driving the side by side, and he jumped up on a rock. And I believe he'd been hit twice, because Brian said he knew he hit him the first time, because he said when he was in there, he saw 2 eyes. He shined a flashlight, and he didn't know if it was, a wildcat or something in there. And so he said, it started coming toward him, and he said he pulled the old trigger and saw it drop and spin around and went the other way. And he said, here it came again. And so it came at him again. And he said he didn't have time to move. So he said he shot it about point blank and, heard a noise like he had hit it, and it went right on past him. And that's when it, came on out right behind my son. And I guess it went on up in the hills and died, I reckon. I don't know. But like I say, that was one crazy experience. Nobody got hurt, but it was quite an experience.
Yeah, generally they run in packs. So, you may have killed the one, and there was another one right next to it or something, coming, because generally there's more than one of them when you see them out. about.
Yeah, you just like I say, it was back inside that attic, and it was it was just crazy, that it was. I mean, it's pitch dark, black in there, and you wouldn't think they'd be in there, but I guess they were looking somewhere just to stay, I suppose.
Oh, I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you, bless you.
Oh, excuse me. Oh man,
Some of that gold dust.
I tried to hurry and put you on solo, man, before that happened, but it didn't make it. Or try to find that mute button. Yeah, we went in a shaft today and added and went back. I think, I don't know, maybe 100 yards. It went back in there.
Oh wow!
And then there was a drop off that went down. Oh, it went deep, and there was an old rickety ladder that went all the way down there.
That's the way this one is. Same way.
Yeah.
Because we went in one. What you're saying? We found another one that was in that same, I guess mountain, and we decided to go in it because you could walk in this one. I mean, it was a big enough open you could just walk right in. And I looked up at Ross and I said, "Come on, Ross." And nope. He said, "I think I'm gonna wait this out. I'm not going in right now," because he just gotten shook up by the javelina. So Brian went in. He still had his 357 and his flashlight. We went in, same sort of thing. We went in probably, I don't know, 100 feet, something like that. And then there was this great big hole, a pit, a shaft. And man, it went way down, and there was a wooden ladder that went on down. And then there was a couple of big planks of wood that crossed over that hole because the shaft was right in the middle of where, the attic was. So you had to cross over it. They had two big beams, and then it just kept going way back in there, But that was crazy, man. So y'all went back into one today?
Yeah, and that's what I was telling the guys, that you don't know what's in the back, because a critter could go in before you do. But
Yeah.
they know, they'll know if there's an entrance or not. I mean, an exit, because, you can tell the cool air coming back at you or not. And generally, they don't want to get trapped in there. So if there's no exit, then a lot of times they won't really go in because they know there's no way back out.
Right.
But yeah, you don't know what's in there. You don't know if there's a cougar in there or whatever. So I said, I'll follow you guys in. But yeah, I had a judge with me.
They're good guns. We got those too.
Yeah. But, you get back in there and you fire one of them, that could cause a cave in by itself.
It could. Yeah. Yeah. You really have to be careful when you're in there, and you definitely need to have folks with you when you go. That know about where you're at and stuff like that. You really have to have, you can't just kind of wander into these things and just don't worry about it. It don't work that way. No,
you can have snakes. Yeah. So Brad says, there's a big difference between pigs, hogs, and javelina. Javelina is actually considered a rodent. They're actually pretty disgusting tasting. Yeah. They're nothing to do with with your pigs. They're just they're not a wild boar, but they're a rodent. They're in the rodent family is what they are.
Right.
So they taste like shit. But still, I've had them come after me before when I've been up deer hunting. Yeah. And, a whole herd of them coming running down the mountainside, and all you can do is just start firing, bam, 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 and scatter. Yeah. They make that grunting sound.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like you say, when you're in an attic, when it's dark, you're going to be kind of spooked by it most of the time because you're not exactly knowing what it is that you're seeing right off the bat. It's kind of a tricky situation.
Yeah. And they're lower to the ground. They can run faster and you can get out of that place.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's right.
They'll go right through you. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian goes out there. I know last year, I think he went for a while. He goes out that way. I think, he films with Discovery Channel, and he was with Vern Atchison for a while, on Bering Sea Gold, and now he's I think one of the guys that works with the film crew and stuff like that now.
Yeah, there's a lot of history out here, a lot of stuff, going on out here. So
Yeah.
a lot of mining operation, but not like you guys. It's funny because you hear people back east, they say, well, I'd like to come out to Arizona and hunt for gold like you guys do and all that. And we say, people here, we say, well, you know what? We'd like to go back there and look for Civil War stuff and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So maybe we ought to do an exchange student program or something.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like fun, man. I don't mind flying. I'll get on a plane in a minute.
Well, come on out then. Heck, man. We'll take you on some adventures.
Yeah, but, you used to, of course, GPA, they kind of, they hadn't, everything's kind of slowed down, as far as having their shows. But, I enjoyed going to those shows out in Phoenix. I've been there several times. Matter of fact, the last show they had in Phoenix, I went to it. I was at, hadn't that been like 2 years ago? Something like that. It's been a little while back because they didn't have one last year, as I know of.
No, they didn't. Yeah, they don't have.
So it was year before last we were out there. But yeah, that would be kind of cool to, team up.
Yeah, come on out. Sure, you're always welcome. I have a campground right here.
Yeah, I keep up with you. I know you got some stuff out there too.
That's why I say we can do an exchange student program.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll send campers there, and you send campers here.
Yeah, hey, I'm in. Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So give all your websites again and everything, how people can get a hold of you and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I'll get now, with me, like I say, I'll get Ross. Maybe he's a better person at doing all that stuff, putting it up where you can see it. But, ours is Eastern Outdoor Expedition that's actually, my Facebook site, as well as, what stuff I have on YouTube. My older stuff that you see, we didn't film any last year because we were I know we were doing stuff for the History Channel. We didn't have time. But you can also see a lot of our TV stuff that's been on, the internet TV and all that, which was on Amazon Fire Stick and all of that. The way you can still see that live streaming is Gen 7 Outdoors, which is GEN, the number 7 Outdoors. And when you get on Gen 7 Outdoors, they'll have a tab that says TV shows. You click on TV shows, and then it's Eastern Outdoor Expedition. That's our shows, and they go way back. A lot of Alaskan shows. I believe there's an Arizona show or two that we did. I don't know. We've been a lot of places, man. And then NC Treasure Hunter Campground Facebook. That's how you see my son's stuff, the campground, and the activities that he has to offer. And, probably on both sites, you can see where we post stuff about the dredge. And we've just kind of slacked off right now, doing much with anything about the dredge, mainly because of the filming that's being involved right now and contracts. And we had to kind of step back a little bit from the media till everything, gets where it needs to be. And I can kind of keep you updated, as well as just putting stuff on our site, so you can see where we're going to be at once we get out there,
No, that'd be cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, but some big things are coming. That's the best I can tell you right now. Some very big things are coming.
Yeah, no, so, absolutely. That's awesome.
In the gold mining industry.
Part of Richard, I'll be back up there in the Meadview area next week or the week after. I'm going back. Actually, I'm going to go over to Gold Basin area and go hang out over there, but I will be up there again. I love the Meadview area. I found a lot of gold up there. But you're right. Every piece of nugget I found has all been attached to Cleachy up there. Dan says, is he the cat that smokes the cigars, American Prospector? I don't think he smokes cigars, does he? Who smokes the cigars? That's Steve, isn't it? Steve Rydell or whatever his name is. Isn't that the one that's always smoking the cigars?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and you're talking about on Barron C. Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know those guys. We've hung out with about all of them. I know we've hung out. Vern is just like he is in real life, to where he is. You see him on TV. He's pretty much like that. But but he's really, really, a nice guy. Um, you know, the Pomerankies, they're pretty much the way they are when you see them. But I mean, you know, they're a cool bunch too. We've hung out with them. You know, of course, they're right there by the AKAU. You know, the road going into AKA, you go right by there, right through their place.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they were. They used to. They come over to AKU when you play the horseshoes on Friday nights and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All the gang over there, all of them does. And
did y'all do the American Legion supper thing too? You know, that you go out there and you can have steak or whatever. It's like, and I think a lot of those folks from Bering Sea Gold, they'll be there at that too. It's like a big steak get together, eat a steak dinner and all baked potato and all the beer and liquor you want to drink and all that mess.
Yeah, in Alaska though, you know, everything costs 3 times.
Oh yeah, you know that's right. A bag of meat skins there. Look, I about fell out. We were in the grocery store. I think it was like $7 for a bag of meat skins or pork rinds or whatever you want to call them.
Oh, wow.
And here they're like, you know, $1.20 or something like that. Whew, everything is just expensive.
Yeah, no, we went out fishing once, you know, so there's a bunch of us in the truck and we're driving and somebody had jerky and they're passing this bag of jerky around. You know, you buy a bag of jerky out here, it's like $7. And I think, oh my God, I'm not buying jerky for $7. That bag came to me and I saw the sticker on it, said like 30-something dollars. I said, oh, excuse me, man. Here you go. I just hand it to the next guy. I'm not touching his jerky, you know.
Man, that's bad.
Yeah, you could. I don't know how them people live up there, man. Cool. So how long do you think you're going to work on this ship until it's erected fully, get it back in operation? How many more years?
Oh man, you probably look at 5-6 years. It's you know, and the reason I say that is, and like I say, we're gonna keep it flooded. We keep, you know, we're gonna let it stay sunk, but the deck is probably, I don't know, 16 inches above waterline. So, you know, we'll keep the bottom end wet, but we're rebuilding everything back, brand new timber, brand new beams, and we're going all the way down to the bottom. So we'll pump it down, and it'll stay dry for a couple of days. When I say dry, I mean the water's seeping in, but it takes a couple of days for the water to get on back up in there. So it gives us time to make repairs or replace stuff or, you know, install new stuff. So, you know, we're putting back everything new, new beams, new bolts, you know, galvanized, treated, the works. But when you're going at 10 feet at a time, you know, and it takes a long time. I know that, you know, the pilot house was sort of the taller part of the dredge. Like I say, it's pushing your 4 stories up, counting from the very bottom of the dredge up. It's up there. It's pretty tall. We've got that built. We've got the metal roof on it. And so what we'll do is, like I say, we'll go 10 more feet behind it. And, you know, start from the beginning again, dig it all out, put a retaining wall up, and then start building back, you know, the new timber. And that will be the second half of the pilot house. So, and then after that, then the roof line changes. So it's, like I say, there's like 4 of us doing the work, and, you know, we don't work there. Now I work there about every day, and my son's there pretty much every day, but a couple of other guys, they come in and help, but you know, it's from time to time. So you know, it takes a while. And then we've got a wash plant that we've got 2 wash plants. And so we run the wash plant sometimes and run some of the pay dirt through there. And, you know, and then we have to make pay bags up. But we're selling a lot of that. So making those pay bags up, you know, it's just lots of different things to do. And, you know, if we had a crew of like 20 people, you could go a million times faster, but, you know, just kind of plugging along. And then, you know, everything's out of pocket. So, you know, I don't know if anybody's bought any real lumber lately, but you buy like a 6x6 treated 6x6 and it's 16 foot long, you know, it'll tear, well, about $80 up, you know, and then those bolts, you know, 14-inch galvanized bolts, when you buy the square-headed washer to go on each end and the galvanized bolt and the nut and all that, you got $10, $11, $12 in that one bolt. And, you know, that's how we bolt these beams together. So you know, it's quite an expensive ordeal. So that's why we do like 10 feet at a time, you know, because it just, we got to do it in small portions, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Richard, I know where the Chevron station is. You can't buy diesel fuel there because it's like upwards of $6. But yeah, Gold Basin or Greg's Hideout. So that's where I'm going to be hiding out at. I'm going to be up there closer to the GPA claim next week or whatever. But I don't know what. But I have a lot up there, Richard, in the Lost Basin, up there at Meadview, up there just by the RV park up in that area. So I like to go up there and hang out whenever I can. But it's a great area. I love it out there. So the let's see, what was the goal? What on the ship? Do you have like eventually? Are you planning where people can come on it and do tours or anything like that?
Oh yeah, if you come anytime, like now, we've got it where you can board the first. You know, you can board the dredge, get on there. You can, you know, the deck's been replaced, new decking and stuff. The pilot house, we've got the first stage of that built and the stairwell and all, but you can go around and go down the gangway on one side of the dredge, and you can go inside the first big part of the dredge where the winches would be at. And right now, it's really cool. We went to when we were at AKU Lodge, Augie took us to this dredge. It was what was it? Gold. It was a gold camp, and I think you could do a lot of dredging there. I don't think it's open anymore, but it was a gold camp north of Nome. So I don't know, 60, 70 miles north of Nome. Anyway, we went there, and there was this old bucket line dredge there, and it was no longer in use. And so, of course, and it had been sitting in the creek, but it was in really, really, I thought, good shape. And it's pretty much the same size as the one that we have, and it's made out of, you know, all wood. So, you know, we went down and took a bunch of pictures and videos and all of that stuff. And we, at that time, had already found our dredge that we were digging it up. So I just took a bunch of pictures. So I had a big backdrop made of one of the pictures of like where you would be standing at the front looking back, you know, down the dredge, and you could see all the workings and all the winches and cables, and it was really, really neat. And so I had this picture blown up into a big backdrop. So here's what we're doing. We're putting that backdrop up, and it's on the open end of the room that we're adding. As we build 10 feet, we put this backdrop on the back of it. And so you can look through the window in the front of the dredge that we've installed, and you can see, just like if you were looking all the way down to the back of the dredge, you could see all the workings by looking at that backdrop. It's like three-dimensional. And so as we add on to the dredge, we'll move that backdrop back so it keeps the back end closed and dry. So right now you can go in, you go around the back where the backdrop is. When you go inside, a lot of the artifacts that we have found, you know, from we took out one of the windows where a wall had fallen over. The window was actually in pretty okay shape. It was not too far gone. So we took the window out. It gave us our measurements. This wall that had fallen gave us our measurements. So we knew what size timber, and we knew how they built it by looking at that. So we've got all this stuff kind of blueprinted out. So the artifacts that we took out, we put a lot of the better ones inside. So when you go inside now, the first section that's been built, you know, you can see a lot of things that we found, and you can see just how it was built. So yeah, we've got one section to where you can board the dredge now, and you can go inside the first section of it.
So I would think, this is just my thinking now, if you've got this boat coming up the river or whatever you want to call it, this dredge digging as it's going up and then it stopped.
Yeah.
I would think if you continue digging in front, you should continue to find some gold.
Oh yeah, it's right on the edge. It's right on the edge. It's funny of this really tall. Oh man, it's probably a 20-foot, 25 foot incline, and it's pretty steep. And the funny thing is, you can tell on the side of this. It's a slope down. It's not real steep, but it's you can walk up it, but it's moderately steep. But you can tell where they were dredging down the sides, of this incline. And I don't know if they got into bedrock or what, but you can see this uniform line. It's probably, I don't know, 3-4 feet or 5 feet flat area. It's like a shelf. And you can tell where they went all the way down a long ways in this uniform. So they were digging there. There's like 3 different places there. So you're right. I mean, it could be that those veins, could be in that ledge, very well,
I think you need me to come out there and help you investigate.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. It's part of the adventure. We want to do some drilling out there core drilling to. That's one way to find out what's going on, because if it was digging by what all my paperwork says, 30 feet deep, you got to have something to reach down there to do some tests, to see what's down there.
Is that bed? Have you hit the bedrock? Is the bedrock down that, or does that even go further down?
I know that some of that bedrock in that area is around 55 feet deep.
So we had reached that.
Yeah, the dredge wouldn't have hit that.
Wow, that's where all the gold is at.
It's funny because when my son was, he's living up there now, and so when they dug his well, I kind of hung out with a well driller guy, and his well's like 440 feet deep. And the funny thing is, when he got through, I asked him, I said, well, where's bedrock at? Where did you hit bedrock? And he said 55 feet. So the next day, he had pulled all his gear out and the drill rods and everything. So the next day, he had a standpipe on that well that's probably 2 feet tall out of the ground. And the next day when he came back, it was like an artesian well. He said, man, you don't see that very often around here because everybody's wells are really deep. And that water was kind of trickling over the side. So they had to put a bleeder on that to, bleed the water off, which I thought was pretty unusual. Well, then guess what happens? Then my son finds out later that he's got to put some filters on his water pump, water line, because, 2 weeks or less he was there. He, his wash machine's filter stopped up, the sink stopped up, and it was full of black sand and gold.
Wow.
Yeah. So getting gold out of his toilet, out of his washing machine,
Cool.
and out of his, yeah.
So now he just has a filter on it, and he's just changing the filter and getting gold
filter,
all the time.
You can find some gold. That is no joke.
Well, you know what? So he needs to run that over like a sluice or something before it gets in.
Before it goes to the house.
Yeah. So, like one of them old dredges that go through the pipes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I was going to say, when the guy drilled it, did you test the tailings or the dirt that he was bringing?
Oh, we got that too. Oh, yeah. We're saving all of that too. But there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on there. We tell people, I don't know. There's just been I think there's been a lot of murders there with, several books describe the Portis Gold Mine and stuff that went on it. Claim jumpers got shot and killed a lot. They had a lot of people that worked there that were, they were immigrants from different places. They died there. They buried them there. There was a shootout there that they said it was notorious. I've read it in several articles to where this shootout on one night, it was 13 people died in this shootout, and every single person was from a different state. And so when they buried them folks, they buried them in the shape of the State of the Union when they buried them. I mean, I've got this in paperwork, no joke. So anyway, so many things happened when my son was trying to get up there to get moved in. Trucks, the engines blew up in them. Just numerous trucks lost engines on that property. I'm not joking. A lot of weird stuff goes on. We had a dump truck to come in there, and the dump truck, somehow or another something broke on the truck, and he wasn't even just starting to raise the truck up, and it completely turned over. They had to bring a crane in to pick the truck up, and then they had to bring another crane in to pull the crane and the dump truck out of there because it's on an incline. But there's just been so many mysterious things that happen there, and people that stay in the cabin say that they'll hear noises like the dredge is actually running. They'll hear clink, 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 clink. They'll hear noises. I mean, I'm serious, I mean, that's what people tell. I don't know, but we do hear some interesting comments before people leave.
You know what? I got a great idea, Tim. We need to sell a filter for people to put on their toilets.
Yeah. If you own a gold mine, you got to have a filter.
Well, no, I think everybody, well, that's true. If you got a well, I got a well. The funny thing is, when we went back in this mine today, I have ghost hunting equipment. There's a cemetery right there. So,
wow. So
I was doing some ghost hunting stuff at the cemetery, playing around. But the funny thing is, you're talking about weird stuff. So I filmed this going back in this mine.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I'm going to play this.
You got a Tommy knocker in there?
Listen, see if you can hear this. Where's my speaker at here? See if you can hear what this says here.
They follow this wide system. Here's the. Let me sneak in there.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
He said it says get out. I'll do it again. We're talking, and this guy talks here.
Let me sneak in there.
Did you hear that? Get
sure
out.
Did. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, that's wild, man.
So we're.
Let me sneak in there.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
So we're going down in this shaft right here, and we reach this shaft that goes straight down, and there's this old ladder down in there. And
I see it. Yeah.
It goes way down. But anyway, so I'm filming down there. I didn't hear the voice, over the thing. But when I'm editing this, putting it together, I could hear that voice, get out.
Yeah, and it's clear. You can tell it, man.
Yeah. And one of the guys we were with, he said that when he went into the cemetery, he felt really, like bad.
Yeah.
And I said, well, he was standing right next to where this hole was, where I said, let me look down there. And so I said, you brought that spirit with you. And he said, no, that spirit was telling me not to go down in that shaft to get out.
Oh,
said, wow.
Man. So y'all didn't go down it? So y'all didn't go down there, did you?
No, there's an old rickety ladder that it went way down there, but no.
But you can find a lot of cool artifacts. Just that's really the cool thing, just the stuff that like blue jeans. They say if you can find blue jeans out of an old mine, them things are worth some money.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, down in those holes. I mean, down there, you'd have to rappel down there. I need somebody with a rappel that wants to rappel down in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anytime you want to come out, bud, we got some adventures to take
That'd be fun, man. Yeah, hey, we're all about adventure now. Same here,
right.
Come check out the ship.
Oh, no, hey, I keep saying I need to make my jaunt to the East Coast and spend a few months just traveling around. So as soon as I get rid of this campground, somebody else with bigger pockets to come in to take it another level so I can move on.
Start traveling.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, Tim, we'll let you go. I know you guys are later back there.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Like I say, it's always good talking to you. And, just like I say, check out, NC Hunters Campground, Treasure Hunters Campground. You should do that. And, you can see a lot of what Ross has got to offer. A lot of specials right now with Christmas, things like that. And, if anybody wants a piece of the history as far as the gold, our bags, we ship them. So, you can. Yeah, the pay dirt, and there's a lot of stuff in it. We do not go through it. I don't have time, so we'll take the excavator. When we pull it out, we set it in a pile and just let it sit and dry for about 3 or 4 days to where it's just dry and it's lighter weight, especially if you want to ship it or something. The moisture's out of it, and we just shovel it right into. We got some pretty decent sized bags, and we shovel it in there. And then what we use, if it fits, it ships. Paid all, that's how we do it. And like I say, a lot of people want to run, more than just a little sample. They want to spend a little time doing it, and you get more that way, And I think the bags are, I don't know, I think he's charging $25 plus shipping. So, it's not a lot of money really for where it's coming from.
Oh, that's cool. So you just order from the website, or there was a number you can call too?
Just if you NC Treasure Hunters Campground, that's usually what everybody does. I say I'm old school. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm usually the one out there digging in the dirt and bagging it up and running the equipment.
Yeah.
But come on out and check us out.
No, have to do that. All right, Tim, we'll let you go. All you guys, we want to appreciate you guys all hanging with us this evening, taking some time out. So you guys all be safe out there. Please like, share, subscribe, as they say. So till our paths cross again, you guys all take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll catch you in a moment, Tim, off air right here. We'll see you guys all later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.